if I don't slap you, our next guest will.
But if you answer like Hall of Fame, like
Exactly.
you got to be a legend in something.
Exactly. If I don't slap you, our next guest will.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Let's welcome to the program, the Marine, Mike Richman. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, we can hear you. We're still having some issues here from the hurricane and lightning hitting the tower, so we're doing it via Skype. But I needed to get you on. You know, big fight coming up. I know that we've texted back and forth. A couple days out. You get excited about anything? Are you excited about this?
You know what? For me, I got so many fights under my belt now. The excitement really doesn't kick in as far as like exciting nerves. Don't really kick in until a little slightly on weigh-ins day, right? That's the first little face-off where you get to look at him, your opponent in the eyes, and then the real excitement nerves kick in when I'm in the hole and on deck, getting ready to go out, under the lights and cameras and fans.
I need to compliment you on how you responded on the Book of Face. So somebody, there's a lot of heat, a lot of stuff going back and forth with you and Lorenzo Hunt. And somebody messaged you on Facebook and said, what would happen if he ever showed up at your place of work? And I loved your response. So instead of me trying to remember what you said, let the audience know what you said if Lorenzo Hunt ever showed up.
Yeah, so obviously, to give a little insight, I'm the general manager of Screamer Rhino, Minneapolis. It's a gentleman's club. And, someone asked me, because we have a lot of beef, like, what would happen if he showed up to my club? And to paraphrase kind of what I said, I would treat him with the utmost of hospitality and try to get him to spend his money, his disposable income on the entertainment, and because that's my place of business, that's my professional career, and I make a good living doing it. I'm not going to risk, losing my career to fight some guy at my place of business. So sometimes people lose sight on, real life reality is things. It's like, I still have a regular full-time job that feeds my family. I mean, fighting right now, this is good additional income. It helps me buy extra stuff, vacations and whatnot, but I still have a real life career as well I got to worry about.
So Mike, when you use big words like disposable income, I got $7 and I got a couple compliments and an IOU. What will that give me a Spearmint Rhino?
Yeah, well, you'd have to get in there before 9 o'clock for a free cover, because after that, that $7 ain't going to get you much farther.
And Mike means, 9 in the morning. Yeah, give me your thoughts. I know training's going well, and we don't talk training like I was just talking to the last couple guests. You're fighting for a title, interim title, regular title, it's immaterial. You're fighting for a belt.
Yeah. Training's going well. I try not to overly analyze it, to really overly think it, get in my head. I just been normally going in there training how I normally train. I've been trying to really just do me and not overly beat myself up and focus on things that mentally, screw with my mind, because when it comes to bare knuckle, as of right now, the rounds don't change, right? It's still 5 rounds. The rule setting hasn't changed to where they haven't gone to 7 or 10 yet for title fights. So the rounds are still 5 and the minutes are still 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So, yes, we're going to go in there. We're going to train hard, just like we normally train to crack each other in the face with bare fists. But at the end of the day, there's no more additional rounds because it's a title fight. So it's not like how do I put it? I'm not training for a 10-rounder, a 7-rounder, or a 12-rounder like boxing, or a 5-rounder instead of a 3-rounder in MMA. I'm just going in there to do what I normally do and get ready to showcase my skill set and knock someone out.
When you're preparing for a fight, in this case, Doolitttle, how much time do you spend on what he has done and what he does, if you spend any time at all worrying about it?
Rarely. I rarely spend any time on it. I'll look at a couple little things here and there. I'll see if he has similar movement. His footwork is his footwork the same throughout his fights? Is his punching combinations, punching speed, does he move kind of the same throughout his fights? because people change and evolve. Now, if you show that you're never evolving, that kind of shows you're always going to fight the same style of fight. I'm not saying Doolitttle could showcase a new set of skills that I've never seen, but I don't overly look into. I'm not dissecting each one of his fights, and if he does, I'm an instinctual fighter, and I exploit my skill sets to try to take out his weaknesses. But I'm not a plan A, plan B, go to plan C type of guy. I do see some things in his game that I can exploit. I haven't seen many evolution in his style of fighting based off of his handful of bare knuckle fights, and then I'm just going to go in there and do what I normally do. I quickly analyze, and I'm quickly adjusting in the fight as it's happening, and I think that's what makes me a different, another level of fighter over my peers.
So Mike, in regards to the training goes, obviously the rounds haven't changed, the time hasn't changed, but Minneapolis is 830 feet above sea level. You're fighting at 5279 in Denver. Have you done anything in preparation for the altitude change, or training to fight in thinner air?
You know what? Not really. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I haven't really done no masks. Like I said, when people are like, "Are you going to get out to Denver a week or a couple weeks prior?" In order to really truly acclimate to that altitude, I got to get out there more than a couple weeks prior. Well, I got a full-time career, family, life, and other stuff. So, I can't get out there a month prior and adjust to the elevation. I'm just going to continue to train like a high performance fighter and an athlete, and I'm going to go out there and do my thing. And I'm not going to let that get in my head, be like, oh, I didn't get into elevation. Because you know what? If the elevation was a real thing, the Denver Broncos would be undefeated every home game. Guess what?
Hold on a second, Mike. Have you seen who their quarterback is?
Well, that's all I'm saying. They're training up in Denver every day. All these people at sea level should be just dying up there right now. We train as freaking high performance athletes. We're going to go up there and we're going to do the damn thing. And that's what it all comes down to.
Awesome. Good stuff. Mike, we appreciate your time. I'll see you Friday at the weigh-in, and can't wait to see you back in there on the squared circle on Saturday.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care, Mike Richman, the Marine, back in action. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to go to this card.
Yeah, for sure.
Is because of Mike, and not because of the fighter, because of the guy. Definitely a good dude, a big fan of his, and I can't wait to see him. All right, let's go ahead and a quick break. When we come back, our final UFC interview.